In this video, I will show you how easy it is to use Nexus Hybrid Access Gateway with Personal Mobile to enable multi-factor authentication for the G Suite applications from Google. I will show you how you configure everything in Hybrid Access Gateway as well as in the G Suite admin console. And finally, I will show you the end user experience when everything is set up correctly. Okay, so to set this up, we have some preconditions. You need to install the Hybrid Access Gateway, you need to set up Personal Mobile, and you need the user accounts. And we are using SAML to integrate with Google Apps. So we need a signing certificate for the identity provider. We need the entity IDs for the service provider and identity provider. And finally, we need the redirect URL for the service provider. So when we know about this, we can just go to the admin interfaces and log on to the Hybrid Access Gateway and also to the Google admin console and start configuring. Okay, so to start configuring the integration between Hybrid Access Gateway and Google, I will go to the Hybrid Access Gateway administration interface. So first part here is to check that I have my certificate to sign the SAML tickets with. And it's down here, the identity provider certificate here. So I have this uploaded since before. Next step is to go to Manage Resource Access. I go to SAML Federation and I select to add a new SAML Federation. I should give this a name. The role I will have is identity provider, so I check this button. I also uncheck this metadata automatic import, since Google don't use metadata as service provider. In the Export tab, I will need to give my identity provider a unique identifier as entity ID. I name my cloud identity provider. I select the signing certificate, the IDP certificate. Next thing is to go to the Identity Provider tab. I should add a service provider, so now I will tell the Hybrid Access Gateway where the Google service provider is located. Here I just click Next, since Google don't use metadata. I give my service provider here a name, G Suite. And I will add an entity ID as well here. This must be unique within my federation. And then I enter a service provider URL. This is the URL where the identity provider will redirect the user after successful authentication. So this must be an exact match with my Google domain. And then I don't need to make any more settings here, so I just click Next. When I send the Hybrid Access Gateway send a SAML ticket to Google, we will need to send a unique identifier for this user that logs on, and Google uses the email address for that. So I select email as source of subject. And then I should select an access rule for Google, and I have created one called Google Apps, which requires strong authentication, where Personal Mobile is one of them. And then I click Finish Wizard, I click Add, and finally I publish. And now I'm done with the configuration in the Hybrid Access Gateway. Next step would be to continue in the Google admin console. So now I've come to the part where I configure Google to use Hybrid Access Gateway as identity provider. So what I do here is I log on to the admin console. I click on the security icon to go to security settings. I click on set up single sign-on. I scroll down and check this button here to set up SSO with a third-party identity provider, where the Hybrid Access Gateway is the third-party identity provider. And here I need to specify a URL pointing at your Hybrid Access Gateway. In my case, it's this URL. I can specify a single sign out page URL as well. So this page is pointing to the logout resource at your Hybrid Access Gateway. Finally, Google also can use a URL for password change. If you use a password-based authentication method, it can point to the pages where you can select to change or reset your password. The final thing I need to do here is to upload my signing certificate, or the certificate that I use to sign the SAML ticket. So I click on Choose File. I select my identity provider certificate. That's the public part of the certificate. Finally, I click Save. And then I'm done with the configuration in the Google Admin Console. So the final part is to show how it works when an end user logs on now. So I go to accounts.google.com. I enter my username. When I submit, Google will redirect to your Hybrid Access Gateway. I select personal mobile in this case. I also enable some other strong authentication methods. I enter my user ID, submit, and I pick up my phone and go to personal mobile. I get an image, which is the same image as been shown in your browser. I click accept. If I Touch ID enabled, I just put my fingerprint on the Touch ID sensor, and then I'm logged on in my Google Apps account. So now you all know how easy it is to set up Hybrid Access Gateway with G Suite application to enable two-factor authentication for your end users. So please go on, set it up with your G Suite applications, because it's so easy and secure to use G Suite applications with Nexus Personal Mobile.